ladies and gentlemen, she's never been on our show. She's doing so many great things all over the social media markets. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now talking to the creator and founder of Prop Queen Sports, the very beautiful Ariel Epstein. Ariel, what's up?
Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Oh my gosh, that's like my 30th birthday, and you can hear my dogs barking too. I'm at my parents' house because I dropped my dog off so I can go to Boston tomorrow for Premier Lacrosse. So we've got 3 dogs in the house.
Boston. Could you pronounce it?
No, I'm a New Yorker. It's against
All right, say it. I'm a New Yorker too, so we say Boston. And I've gone to Boston, and the first thing they say to me when they ask me, first of all, they know I'm from New York, and I always wear a Yankee hat when I'm in Boston. It doesn't matter.
Always.
I went to Cheers one time, and I'll never forget it. My friend told me, when you go to Cheers, don't wear anything Yankees. When you walk through that door, they're going to kill you. I'll never forget it. I was wearing my 𝐦𝐫𝐸 Chamberlain. Yes.
Not at Cheers, though. I did it at Fenway for a Red Sox-Rays game.
What happened?
It had nothing to do with the Yankees, and I was about 14 years old, and I went with my grandparents, but whatever. I said, Grandpa, you better fight for me, because if they try to beat me up, I don't care.
Well, that's a funny story. I walked into Cheers, and I was wearing my 𝐦𝐫𝐸 Chamberlain jersey, and I showed 𝐦𝐫𝐸. I don't own a lot of Yankee jerseys, except I only put my name on it, but I have 𝐦𝐵𝐸's jersey, and I wore it in there, and they said, tell that fat ass to go back to where he's from. That's what they said when I walked through the door.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, well.
It is amazing. You'll still see 62s going around the stadium.
Speaking of 62, I got to show you something. I've got something handmade for the old. Now, 𝐦𝐵𝐸 does not like to be called Joba. He doesn't. So I told 𝐦𝐵𝐸, and the same thing I did for Nick Goody, another ex-Yankee that's on this show. I had to get his college jersey. So I got a Nebraska-made jersey with 𝐦𝐵𝐸, and guess what I got right on the back? You ready, fans? Ready to look at this? Ready? Read this.
So
I got it spelled Joba, okay? So for 𝐦𝐵𝐸, I did it for him. I posted it. We're going to be posting it up on social media. He absolutely despises it, and I always put this drop over here.
Joba.
Yeah, as we always do.
Joba.
And it pisses 𝐦𝐵𝐸 off. He makes these weird faces, and he says, if I ever see you, I'm going to smack the you-know-what out of you. So, hey, you know what? I might as well.
I didn't realize until I left New York how many different variations of Ariel there are. So New Yorkers say it Ariel, like normal, but then you'll go Ariel, Ariel, Ariel. I had no idea until I moved to North Carolina.
Yeah, well, my name is Errol, and I hate when they call me Ariel, and that I hear egg roll, I hear all these names, I hear all this stupidity. Earl, I hear Earl, and I hate Earl.
Did you just say egg roll?
Oh yeah, I've heard it. I've heard Errol, egg roll. You get it? You know, I've heard all different things. Everybody tries to transition or translate my name. You know, my brother was one of those guys that, I used to pick on my brother all the time. And my brother, and I hopefully he's not listening, he has these weird nipples. When he was a kid, they used to poke out. They used to poke out of his shirt.
Where is this going?
I'm just telling you, it's funny. And he used to wear these shirts. And my brother does not go in swimming pools anymore without wearing a T-shirt because he's afraid that those things will poke out. I used to call them silver dollars. So I used to tell everybody that I have, how many brothers and sisters you have? I said, I have 3 sisters. And I gave my brother, so I have Helena, Samantha, and Susie. That's what and people would say, wait a second, don't you have a brother? No, he's my sister. So, long story, I want to throw this in.
In today's world, man, like that's it's acceptable in some parts of the world.
You can't say anything about it.
I don't want to get myself into trouble here, you know.
I know, now you're going to get us in. I'm going to get canceled. I'm going to tell 𝐽𝐵𝐸 that he canceled me.
Yeah, my bad. 𝐽𝐵𝐸. My rear end is burning.
Anyways, Ariel, you're doing some crazy stuff right now. Sports betting has become an all-time big thing all over the country. Now it's legalized in so many states. Here in New York, it was a multi-billion-dollar industry last year. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to start, obviously, Prop Queen Sports.
So I always call prop betting the gateway drug into gambling from fantasy. So that's kind of what happened for me. As soon as gambling got legalized, I was like, wow, I don't really understand spreads, totals, and money lines, but I understand props because I've been playing fantasy sports since I was 9. It was when everyone in Vegas, so I got into the media side of sports betting in 2019, and everybody in Vegas was spreads, totals, money lines. I said, how am I going to differentiate myself from these people who have been doing this for 40 years? Like, I'm 25, 26 at the time. And so I said, okay, I'll do the props because that was such an East Coast thing. Strikeout props was actually what the prop queen name started off of. I didn't even like the name. I wasn't the one that started it. People just started calling me prop queen because I was the one that came on the shows giving out prop betting information. I was the only one doing it when everything started really getting legalized. And it kind of just blew up from there that the prop queen name became a brand. And in the last year, I became very sick of working for other people. Everybody in this business, I had like 5 jobs in 5 years, no fault of my own, except that every company that hired me for great money and then decided to fold the gambling department after a year every single time. So it just made the most sense to go out on my own and start the Prop Queen brand, kind of like this is the way the generation is now. Everybody's just going on their own and making their own brands and getting their own deals as opposed to bringing, like I did at MLB Network, for example. BetMGM came and started branding my stuff, but the MLB Network saw that money. I just got paid my normal salary for MLB. So it just makes the most sense at this point to still do those things as an independent contractor because obviously everything is still great and I love working for those places, but building a brand these days is the most important.
Yeah, and we've obviously seen what you've done. I want to touch on some. You were real excited at the start of your show today about how you don't like guys that go and break up no hitters that used to be Yankees, and specifically Soto and Sanchez. I do watch your show obviously, and I was like, wow, this really hits her deep right now. Like, especially with Gavin today, I was like, man, they're like, she's really invested in this one.
So the background on Gavin and I is, and you probably can attest to this being from Nebraska, small town. When I was a sports anchor in North Carolina for 3 years, I got to see a lot of really young talent come. Like Mackenzie Gore is from down there too. Brandon Ingram is from there. Bruce Carter is from there. Jerry Stackhouse is from there. So there are so many huge names, and Todd Gurley at that time too was big, that came through Eastern North Carolina. Gavin Williams pitched at East Carolina University, and I was already, I think, my second year in Greenville at that point. And they told us that this kid is a freshman. He's going to make his debut out of the bullpen. He throws over 100. But he's wild. Like, he threw wild at the time. But this kid was like a stick. He was tall, but a stick. But threw over 100. And he did. Like, first pitch out of the gates, out of the bullpen, throws over 100. It was Gavin Williams. And I'm standing there, and it turns out, as I'm shooting the game as a local sports anchor, like, you have to shoot your own highlights, sitting behind home plate, I'm shooting the game. His grandma is sitting next to me. So now at every single game for 2 years, I'm sitting next to his grandparents. They got season tickets. They sat behind home plate for all his, whether it was the bullpen, starting, whatever. So I got to really know his family through covering Gavin all his career. And then it was really cool when he made his major league debut, and then he came to Yankee Stadium for the first time. So I used my MLB credential. I went down to the field, said hey to him. It was such a full circle moment. I was at MLB Network. He was pitching. So I was actually talking with him after the game today, and I was like, you good? Like, Jabba, you would know. I'm sitting there devastated for this kid that he gave up a no-hitter to Juan Soto after being 2 outs away. And he goes, well, Soto's really good. I said, I know, but you almost had a no-hitter. He said, no, I'm cool. Like, I'm really happy with the way today went.
So yeah, not only the no-hitter, though, it blew a shutout, too, which sucks.
Yeah, but I feel like at that point, after you blow the no-hitter, whatever, for a shutout. But a one-hitter against the Mets. I said this to a friend of mine who's a Mets fan. I said, the cool thing is, you've seen a lot of no-hitters go against, like, the Athletics or the White Sox. This Mets team is a good team. Like, they're a good lineup. Not recently, but, like, overall, that's a really tough lineup to throw a no-hitter against. So I thought it was
easy.
Really
the Yankees
awesome.
Almost got no-hit, too. Like, we had 2 hits, but, yeah. So
the Yankees stink. Don't get me started. I'm a Yankee fan. They stink. Everybody that listens to this show.
Fan. It's horrible.
That stink.
And here's the thing. I'd rather my bats be cold like the Rangers than have horrible fundamentals and inability to field simple balls in the infield. Like, at least your bats eventually, and the Rangers really hasn't, but when you go cold in a lineup, it stinks, but things heat up. Like, your lineup at some point is bound to heat up. That's just baseball. But fundamentally being ridiculously horrible, especially when the Dodgers game plan was outwardly to take advantage of how bad your defense is in the World Series, and you didn't even fix it. Like, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I wanted to reference the video you had, I think, yesterday. I saw on Twitter or Instagram. You were saying that are the Yankees tanking or something like that? And we've had discussion of like what the Yankees should do at the trade deadline. Ariel was saying, they should have been sellers at the deadline. Like, where do you stand on all that with the Yankees?
No, they weren't going to be sellers, and I think they did pretty well at the deadline, especially because the market clearly wasn't in the starting pitching market. No starters really went anywhere. Everyone was bolstering the bullpen. Where I get annoyed, and I say this all the time, it's really hard for me to rake on Boone, because Aaron Boone has always been great to me. Like, he is always, every time I've been around him, great guy, so nice to me, jokes with me. I have nothing against Aaron Boone as a person. But when these decisions are made, like Devin Williams last night, who has been struggling all year, and I spoke about this at the beginning of the season when I said, what is going on with this guy? And he still never really got things right, and the bases are loaded, and you went out and got one of the best closers in the market in David Bednar. And I understand maybe you didn't want him to, get crushed by putting him in that situation. We are grown, you're grown men. You got him for a reason. Take Devin Williams out of the game. Enough already. These decisions are terrible.
It's Aaron Boone. He's reaching out to you. Ariel,
MLB Network's you're fired. Let's say Joba's got me.
Joba.
I'm quitting this show. You know how pissed off that makes me? It's unbelievable.
I only say it in a negative context, like getting canceled on the show.
Yeah, no, I just want to punch Ariel in the face.
She's not. Well, hold on 1 second. She's kidding around.
I'm not punching her in the face.
Why are you going to punch me in the face? I did nothing wrong. I was kidding around. Anyways, we are talking to the creator and founder of Prop Queen Sports, Ariel Epstein. And by the way, she's not getting fired. For anybody, don't try to kill me. Don't throw any bones on my social media.
It's true. It's Ariel's fault. It's not.
It's all my fault. It's Joba's fault. It's always
Joba
again.
Ass liquor.
As he always is. Anyways, Ariel, we speak about the Yankees on the show a lot. I'm a Yankee fan. Obviously, Joba played for the Yankees. We all know what he's all about. And Fish is a Yankee fan. There are a ton of Yankee fans that listen to this show. And what turns me off about this team, really since the beginning, was really not the manager. I don't think it's Aaron Boone's fault. Aaron Boone's not going on the field trying to hit the ball. Aaron Boone's not trying to steal a plate or steal a base. Aaron Boone's not throwing the ball. Aaron Boone is looking at analytics that the analytic department is sending down to him. And all these fans have been just attacking Aaron Boone over the last...
Okay, hold on. I'm cutting you off.
No, go ahead.
𝐸𝐮 becomes the manager of the Tigers,
Yep.
a team that was a disaster 4 years ago. Javi Baez was the most veteran, experienced all-star on that team of young stud rookies who we knew could be something but weren't amounting to much yet. 𝐸𝐮 benches Javi Baez because
I
he's
told that
not
story.
one.
I told that story. He took him down under in Toronto.
And look, this team knows that 𝐸𝐮 will bench you regardless of who you are. The Yankees don't do that.
And that's Aaron Boone's fault? How about that's Brian Cashman's fault? How about it's the executive bunch up there telling
Listen,
Aaron
can
Boone,
tell me better
he's a
than
puppet.
I don't know whose fault that is.
He's
but
a puppet.
My thought is if 𝐸𝐮 can make the whole team better in Detroit and make you realize that I'm going to bench you, I don't care, then somebody in the Yankees organization, which I know for a fact from working for them, they're a very loyal organization, which is amazing in so many ways. It's just not working.
I agree with you, but it's amazing almost to a fault too.
Yes.
Because it's like, where do we go? And the crazy part is, me being there as long, it's the same people. It is literally the same, unless Mark Newman, God rest his soul, was our player development guy who passed away. But other than that, it's the same people. And it's just interesting when you bring that up, and I brought up the AJ Hinch thing, where if they get pissed at you for doing that, for doing whatever, and I'll use Jazz as an example, like when you go out and say you're making a play and then come back and say that you would do it the same way again, what were you doing? It's a pop fly to second base. And for somebody to not like get in his ass and be like, what are we doing? And then you see Booney talking to the first base coach and not Jazz. Like, what are we doing? And if you're told, and as we've heard from people and people that we've talked to, is he the puppet? Is he scared to do something? But who's going to do it? Like, we're going to see. We seen what Judge said last night. Oh, we have the clubhouse to do it. It has to be done right. Yeah, we know that. And then Booney goes back and says, yeah, it's only June, but it's August. There's not much time left. And so it's frustrating to see.
I know that this generation, unfortunately, and a lot of these guys are my age, so I can't even say too much of that, but even the next generation on these Gen Z kids, the college kids, the rookies, the young first, second-year players, the way that baseball even went in the last 10 years, it's the manager is your friend, whereas you were with Joe Torre and the manager's your manager, like he's your boss. And I hate that football's not that way. Football, a lot of these guys are the head coach. Like, that's your coach. We just saw a coach come out of a pile with marks on his face. Like, coaches in the NFL are coaches. In hockey, coaches are coaches. In baseball, it appears that half of them are their friends.
First of all, 𝐮𝐲, it's not Chisholm, it's 𝐮. That's all he's worth. I never liked the move when the Yankees brought him in. The guy, all he does is yap. He wears his nice, beautiful chains, dances and prances around. He went in the home run derby. He embarrassed himself at the home run derby. And after the home run derby, he embarrassed himself again. Every single thing that comes out of this guy's mouth is just absolutely ridiculous. And the Yankees should have suspended this guy a long time ago. Now, I believe it's Brian Cashman. I think Brian Cashman's behind it. I feel bad for Aaron Boone. I stick up for Aaron Boone. I think Aaron Boone's a great manager. And if Aaron Boone gets fired at the end of this year, I believe there'll be 5, 6, or 7 other teams lining up to bring in Aaron Boone. I don't think he's a bad manager. I think he just has to listen to up top. And whatever they say, goes. What do you think about that, Miss Epstein?
I have heard that Cashman, of course, pulls a lot of the strings, but at this point, it's crazy to think we are like 10 years into Aaron Boone being manager. That is a long freaking time to be in a job. It's not his second year anymore, even though it keeps feeling that way. It feels like Mr. Torre was manager like 3 years ago. That's not the case. He's 85. 10 years into a job, we should be a little bit more confident to be a little bit more ourselves. If you can't do that, and again, maybe he just enjoys the job. I can't speak for Aaron Boone. I don't ever intend to speak for Aaron Boone. I don't know how it works in the organization. What I know, whoever is running the team is not focusing on the problem, which is fundamentals. And when you are grown men making millions of dollars every year and you can't field ground balls, Anthony Volpe, and Jazz Chisholm isn't running hard, and we don't have Giancarlo Stanton in the lineup against Nathan Eovaldi, who he's hitting like 400 against with 4 home runs. Big problem.
𝐮𝐻, just so you know. I'm helping you out here. It's 𝐮𝐲.
Deuce of the day.
I'm just helping you here, man. I've been saying this over. Jabba, last year, when we started working together, Jabba...
We're going to have to go back on this. I didn't have a love fest for him. I just said
don't you lie now.
I didn't say I loved him.
No.
Is he a vibes guy, though? He could be a vibes guy.
100%.
He vibed to him. He definitely vibed to him. And he attacked me
100%.
at the World Series. And I said, this guy stinks. He's an overrated second baseman. Oh, I'm sorry. He played third base during the World Series. I think the guy stinks.
Not his position.
And by the way, Gleyber Torres is having an all-star year. He's on a better team. Where's Gleyber Torres? This guy...
Look at this happens to all the Yankees. A lot of them leave the Yankees and do better. So why do people come to the Yankees and do worse?
I don't know. You know the Yankees more than I do.
Blaming the whole pinstripe thing. Fine, under George Steinbrenner, you could feel the pressure. He was a scary man. At this rate, we can't talk about the Yankees and pinstripes and pressure in New York. What's the pressure? You haven't won a World Series since 2009. What's the pressure? Enough. This is such a stupid argument over the stupid pressure. It's not pressure. It's no one's pressuring you. That's the problem.
So switching gears, I wanted to discuss the betting scandals that have been going on in sports recently, most recently with Emmanuel Clase.
You threw Mariano on the screen as you're talking about gambling scandals. That was rude.
Yeah, so Emmanuel Clase was the big one recently. We've seen a couple in the NBA get suspended as well. And like Ariel's whispering here, Ohtani last year was the big one. What are your thoughts to all that, how it's operated in all sports?
So I always tell people, because everyone thinks that gambling's making this worse. In fact, it's the opposite. The legalization of gambling is why it's getting exposed. It was always happening. If you think that these guys are just new doing this because it's legal, that's not true. I know a lot of ex-athletes who all gambled and all know. Like, I hear stories. They all got away with it. Even the league sometimes knew about it, called them into private meetings and said, hey, we're kind of catching on. Stop it, or we're going to have to suspend you. There were a lot of warnings that no one hears about. So this is now just bringing it to the forefront. And remember, those times it was illegal. These times, this isn't necessarily like Emmanuel Clase and Ortiz on the Guardians. These weren't, we caught you betting. These were, we caught you doing things that looked like the whole, there was, I don't even know how someone got down like 5 or 10K on a second pitch of a third inning. I don't even know how you were able to get that down, because you usually can't even bet more than $250 on that kind of market. But besides the point, they were seeing excessive amounts of money coming in on a certain pitch in a certain inning that clearly ball slipped out of their hands. Like
that was Clase's 0-0 pitch, and he like lawn darted like 6 in a row and then didn't miss the zone by less than like a quarter of an inch, like his next 32 pitches or something like that.
Right. Like, these are, the funny thing is, it's not even, Clase's betting. It's, well, who's he assisting in the betting? It's like point shaving. But again, these things have been going on for years. I just think that these players are so dumb because it's obviously, it's like become blatantly obvious. So my defense of it, legalized gambling is just helping people get caught. And the problem is, people will continue to do not legalized gambling, and that just contributes to a different problem.
It's not like we all didn't have bookies.
Right.
That's true.
It's happened for years. I mean, it's like in New York, it's like the back of the parlor games, like gambling rings. It's going to happen. But yeah, it's the one thing that I always wondered, it was so like taboo back, even though people knew they did it. Do you think, like, obviously you being at the forefront of what you've done and how you've done it, do you think it's helped or hurt in getting people like to the sport, or has it become like, I'm not a fan, I'm a fantasy fan, I'm a fan of if this guy's on my team, or as you do your Survivor things, oh, I just want him to get a hit, but I hate the Braves. Like, does it become certain things like that? And how have you seen it work, good and bad?
I've seen it help more than it hurts, especially baseball, which is the sport we love. People love having this downtime of year saying, hey, Ariel, what's the bet of the day? I just want a little bit of action. I want to have some fun, and it gives me a reason to watch the Mariners and White Sox tonight. Football, obviously, is king. I do think that it has helped a generation, especially like my brother's age, who's all just getting to that legalized gambling age, or not, but they want to be. And it used to be they didn't have a reason to really tune into the games and watch. They just watched the box score, watched social media highlights. Now you get people living and dying on every play, every pitch again, because they might have action on it and it might mean something. So I do think in the long run it's helped more than I've seen it hurt. What has it hurt? There are obviously people who are against gambling, but my response is always, well, what are you going to do? You're going to take away liquor stores. People are still going to have alcohol addictions. You're going to tell people they can't have sex. People are still going to have sex addictions. You're going to tell people they can't watch porn. They're going to do it anyway.
Who are you pointing at, 𝐬𝐫𝐿? Who are you pointing at?
Oh, she's hitting the nail on the head.
All right, I thought you were pointing at me now.
No, I mean, but the same thing. She's 100% right. The world's biggest addiction is legal, and that's food. Fast food corners. You got to eat.
I thought he was going a different direction,
That's
but
what
I was trying to bring it back. Trying to bring it back a little bit.
He was pointing at me. That's what I thought he was doing.
No, I was like, bingo, you got it. I wasn't necessarily pointing at anybody.
We are talking to creator and
Hey,
founder
we're all
of
here for a
Prop
reason,
Queen
right?
Sports, Ariel Epstein. You know, it's really, really funny. When I started working with Jabba, I was always trying to figure him out as a player. I was a fan of Jabba Chamberlain. I always was. And then working with him, I really had to figure out his personality. Is there a particular person that you've worked with over the years where you thought you knew him until you really got a chance to work with him? And who was it? And why or how did you deal with him if you couldn't deal with him?
Oh God, I'm not gonna name names because
I was just going to say, I knew that was coming.
there have definitely been people I've worked with that I'm like, oh, wow, I thought we were friends, and you are just a lunatic, and we can't work together. I can handle a lot. Like I could come on, I could talk with guys. I don't care. I've had guy friends my whole life. Literally nothing bothers me until you degrade me over my work. If you come on and try to degrade me by saying certain things like I don't know someone unless you mentioned it, or like if you start telling me that I don't have the right to give out bets on this because I don't know that trust me, I've heard it from this particular person. I like on air, and I'm not saying behind the scenes. I don't care about behind the scenes. It was on air that I would be getting called out over stuff, and to the point, this person, it got to the higher ups, and it was done. But I will say one funny story that I don't mind saying. So Leiter and I met Al for the first time 2 or 3 years ago at MLB Network, and he's a hard ass. Like, when you first meet him, he's a tough dude, but I love that. Like, I love cracking people. Like, I would have loved to have met George Steinbrenner, because I feel like Lon Trost and I became close, and he's a tough guy, too. Like, I was like, I'm going to crack this guy. And
you guys are the same size.
I'm actually a little taller.
That doesn't surprise me.
But he's a lot. He's
get
the
it right.
most powerful. He's the tiniest, most powerful person anyone could probably ever meet.
And he's a great dude.
And he's a great guy.
Yeah.
But he's tough until, I met him when I was 20, so he was really tough on me until whatever. But anyway, the Al Leiter story. So, of course, I do the gambling stuff at MLB Network, and I love my strikeout props. Al, of course, being the pitcher he is, he comes in, and he knows I say my stuff on air, but he was really trying to test me to see what I knew off the cusp. But we're sitting in the makeup room. He goes, I don't really understand this whole strikeout prop thing. Like, how do you know this? Like, how do you know that I'm not just having a bad day? I said, well, I don't. But majority of the days, you're probably not having a bad day because you're going on the mound. And majority of the days, your analytics and numbers are going to tell me that certain matchups are good and bad, whatever. So I go through my whole MLB prop spreadsheet with him. My friend Matt and I have a prop spreadsheet over all the pitcher props. Hits allowed, earned runs allowed, outs, and strikeout props. So I'm going through the strikeout prop portion with him, explaining how I handicap the strikeout props against each particular lineup and how I go through all the numbers and whatever. So he's asking me all these questions, he's trying to get me off the cusp, giving him strikeout props. So I give him a few, and he said, if these don't hit, basically I suck. And of course, they end up hitting that night. He comes in the next day, and he's still being a hard ass until the next day. He's trying to really, quiz me. And the next day he comes in, he goes, wow, you really know your stuff. We were besties ever since. He even asked to come on the show. He said he would do whatever. So that was those kinds of moments to me that I, live for. You
know, it's so interesting when you sit down or you're interviewing an athlete, and they think they know you or they've heard of you, and then you sit down with them and they really don't know you. And then you ask them your first question, and they're like, are you serious? Are you going to ask me that question? I was like, why not? And I'll tell you a quick story. And Jabba wasn't a part of this show. What we used to do when Speedy started to work with me, we used to get all the big analysts on our show. So I would ask 5 funny questions at the end of the interview. So there was a Chicago Bulls analyst that was on our show. And I didn't know how I was going to attack it in the crazy questions I asked him. So I said, Speedy, how do you think I should attack this? And he says, I don't know. I just don't want you to turn him off. So the first question I asked him is, at the end of the whole interview, I said, if you were a woman and you went out in town and you were going to go to a club, what would you wear? He looked at me and he said, I wish you nothing but the best. It was very nice talking to you. Hopefully we talk soon. I never talked to the guy again. And it was, I'm not mentioning the name of it, but it was very, very funny because I cut it up and I told Speedy to chop it up because every single time I think of this analyst, I see him on television. I'm not going to mention names. It always makes me, I just break out and laugh because of the questions I asked him during that interview.
Ariel, you'll like this part after this, too. We also had, I know you're a Ravens fan, so you'd like this. We had Trevor Price on our show, ex-Ravens defensive lineman, on the same day. Ariel asked him the same question, and he said he would walk out naked.
I think that's a great answer.
But he's always on this show. He always comes on this show, and we always have fun with Trevor. But this guy looked at me like his mouth dropped. Like I asked him, like I was going to kill somebody. It was so funny.
I'll tell you on the positive side, like Pedro Martinez was that for me in a positive way. Meeting Pedro for the first time was, and I don't know how Jabba feels about Pedro. I freaking love that man. I walked in so we got to I met him once like years ago when I was interviewing at MLB. He wouldn't have remembered that. But we did a show. He did a full hour with my show Off Base at MLB Network. I was so excited, but I also was not sure because I heard great things about him, but I was a Yankees fan and I hated him. We go in the makeup room. He walks in. He looks at me and he goes, Ariel, I've been so excited to do a show with you. I looked at him and I go, really? He's like, yeah, you're really smart. You know your stuff. I said, Pedro, I've hated you my whole life. That's crazy. And he just starts laughing and he goes, yeah, I get that all the time. He's the best.
He's got the biggest head.
Himself on every show.
He's got the biggest head, man. I don't know where. I mean, obviously, he was a great pitcher. It's like looking at Pedro Martinez is like a bobblehead, just like staring right at you. I hated Pedro Martinez, but I love him as an analyst because he's honest and he's one of the greatest right-handed pitchers we've ever seen. I mean, the guy was unstoppable. Everybody talks about the greatest changeups of all time. I got to say, Pedro Martinez might have the best changeup we've ever seen because of how hard he threw, and he pitched in such big times. The only team that seemed to dominate him was his daddy, and that was the New York Yankees. So
he opened up our show that day, literally looking at the camera and saying, "Who's your daddy?" It was amazing.
Well, they literally after that happened in the World Series when we beat him when he was with Philly, like they literally like did a full segment like "Who was your daddy?" like during the playoffs. Like I've always liked him. Like he was always great to me. Once you can start to understand him, because at first it's a little tough. He'll laugh and crack jokes. He's awesome. I loved him. And
said he goes into a different mode when he pitches, and when he's on the field, it's his team or die. And then he leaves the field and he becomes his normal self. He just has like 3 personalities: game day Pedro, teammate Pedro, and just Pedro. It's true.
It is true.
I meet a lot of different athletes, but the football players are always the weirdest ones.
Yeah, you're kind of right.
They are the weirdest people. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to tell you some of the things Offset went before you interview him, but we were at the Super Bowl. I'll never forget it. We were doing Radio Row. Jabba was supposed to come down, but he had his son. His son was playing baseball, so he couldn't come down. So I'll never forget it. So we're standing there and we're looking for guys to come because early in the day they're walking up with clipboards and saying, "Who do you want to interview?" Oh, you can't interview him because he's got a full day, full map. So we set up and we don't even know who we're going to interview. So people would walk by and we just pull them and say, "Want to get a 15-minute interview?" And after the interview, they would come back up to us after. It's like, "That was the best interview I've ever had since I've been here all week." It's like, how did you do that? And I said, "Well, it's a good question, but we have it all. We're scripted. We write everything down." He's like, "Really? Let me see it." And I was like, I'm just kidding. I don't script anything. I just want to shoot the crap with you. There was a football player that came up. I'm not going to mention names. And he asked me something that was unique, disgusting, and I'll just tell you quickly what he said to me. He said, "Well, you know what? Have you ever spoke about somebody taking a dump?" And I said, "Why?" And he said, Well, because, before football games, the first thing before the game, before I walk on the field, I would have to go to the bathroom because I was so worried, or I was so, what's the word? I felt uncomfortable, so I had to go flabbergasted, or whatever the hell he said. And he said, I'd be on the ball and the coach would be looking for me, and the first place everybody would know where I was in the stall right before you walk on the field. So I said, well, why are you telling me this? And he said, well, because nobody asks me silly questions like this, and you seem to ask all the crazy ones. So that's a true story, and I'm not going to mention, but football players are real when you ask them a question. A baseball player, like 𝐬𝐝 when I first interviewed him, the first thing he told me, I got 15 minutes. Give me your best shot for 15 minutes. You know what happened after 15 minutes? This mofo took over the show for an hour and a half and didn't shut up. And that's how the 𝐬𝐝 in the mouth really was born. So that's a true story, by the way. 𝐬𝐝 said 15 minutes, and it wound up almost 2 hours of 𝐬𝐝. True story. So, true story.
Love that.
Yeah, well, 𝐬𝐝's been, me and 𝐬𝐝, it's taken a little while, but me and him we've built a good relationship. 𝐬𝐝's a unique individual, and anybody that doesn't know 𝐬𝐝, you got to watch the show, because 𝐬𝐝 is more knowledgeable than you think in sports. But my favorite line of 𝐬𝐝, Fish, you got to tell him what's our. You got to come on here. What is 𝐬𝐝's?
Do I know this?
No, 𝐬𝐝. What is his best line when it comes to attacking a subject? You ready, Fish? Go ahead, give it to him. You're on mute. What is he? What does he do?
There's a couple.
What does he do? Go ahead.
You give us it's one of those things,
It's one of those things.
It's one of those things.
It's one of
You
those.
got to make sure I'm coming with something.
It's one of those
fire
things. Even if he doesn't know what he's talking about, it's one of those things.
I'm going to make some shit up so I know I act like I know what I'm talking about.
I've gotten to learn all of the pronouns,
The euphemisms,
and, adverbs that 𝐬𝐝 knows. That is what I've learned.
Fish, are you claiming
It's
there's
just one
a
of those
language
things,
called jabberish?
Jabberish.
Hey, I learned these from my father, so
𝐬𝐝.
he was great at it.
𝐬𝐝 likes my shrimp cocktail.
Everything's about BSing. If you could confidently BS, anyone will believe you.
Well,
I could sell. I mean, I could sell shorts to an Eskimo, so it's all good.
I definitely got to see that. I definitely
gotta
have
make
to
that a
see
drop.
that.
I can sell ketchup packets to a man in a white suit, so let's do it.
Oh man, just don't sell it to a woman.
Hey, she could play it off though if it's Shark Week. Hey, it's life. That happens.
Oh my God, we're gonna get in trouble. She's gonna get in trouble for this. Anyways,
That's 𝐬𝐝.
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 That's the other guy. That's not me.
𝐬𝐝.
Ironically, I think I've actually competed against you, Ariel, because the only people here that's ever competed, because I coached against Clarkstown North in track not that long ago. I think when you were there a little while ago, not that long ago, and I'm only a few miles away up in Rockland still coaching.
Oh, well, I graduated 2012, so it was kind of a while ago.
I was coaching track about 2011, 2012, 2013.
Wow.
over at
I
Southern.
definitely did not run track, though.
I was the throwing coach over there, so we didn't run either. We sat. And I
𝐬𝐝.
watched.
Smack
That's
my
good.
ass.
Bend your knee a little bit more. Throw it harder.
That's funny. That's funny. Small world.
Well,
It is.
anyways, we love you, Ariel. We would love you to come on the show more often. You do
Whenever you want.
a sensational job.
That's true. You
Everything
got a
that you're doing. I'm happy we have a friend. And 𝐬𝐝, we always have a friend in me. I mean, you got a friend in me.
I was like, where are you going?
You got a friend in me. I'm not going to sing. I don't want to scare anybody away. But anyways, Ariel, you're doing so many great things. Prop Queen Sports. Tell them how they can find Prop Queen Sports and how they can check out all the different lines of betting that you are doing right now.
ThePropQueen.com is where everything is. The newsletter is there. You could subscribe there. The YouTube page at Prop Queen Sports is where everything is located for the show. The show is from 5 to 6 on live stream on all social media platforms. You can follow at Ariel Epstein or Prop Queen Sports. Got a lot going on. I do all the sports. I have a lot of friends who do college sports, so it's not. I mostly focus in NBA, MLB, and NFL. So any sports that I don't do, I always bring guests on to help out, especially during big times like the first week of college football or NHL, like playoffs. I always make sure that the big times are covered for sure.
Well, I checked out all the different stuff that you're doing. And when actually 𝐬𝐝𝐵 told us that we were going to have you on the show, I knew of you, but I really didn't check out your stuff. What you're doing is unique, different, and revolutionizing the industry right now. It's really cool.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted, and I decided that it was going to be a good time to get a puppy. So I am not sleeping, and I am working a lot, but it's fun, and I love it. I always thought that I didn't need sleep, but after a few months, I think I need sleep. So I'm going to try at some point.
I've got the perfect name for your puppy.
𝐬𝐝𝐵. 𝐬𝐝𝐵.
Maybe the next one. Marley sounds pretty good right now.
Marley and Me. I love that movie.
It sounds like you only need one right now if you're not getting any sleep.
I only need one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, yeah, I passed the dog and went straight to kids, so.
No,
That's
a
I
big
chose
jump.
not to go that route.
Yeah, well, it wasn't my first choice. It just kind of happened. She said she ate a salad, and then Carter was born, so I don't know how it worked.
What? What?
Yeah.
I gotta meet this woman.
I
gotta meet this woman.
100%. Now he's 19 and 6'5", so yeah, sweet. That's awesome.
My dog wants your pussycat.
We have a female on the show, man. What are we
I'm
doing
a lot.
here?
I'm having fun. She's gonna have
She's
fun.
a distinguished woman. What are we doing?
Fish wears panties.
Okay. That works.
I just always say, you wish that was true. Unfortunately,
Breaking news.
you're thinking
Bagel
about it.
hole.
I don't want that visual. No.
Breaking news.
That's
I
and
need
it's
a
error.
gin and
Let's face
tonic.
it.
This is what I have to deal with.
Breaking news. I need
At
Brittany
least
also.
it's late night. Like, you could have a drink on this show or something and deal with it.
Oh,
Not
well.
like 9 in the morning.
Listen,
No, I got my snacks.
we are the
you
best in the business, okay? I just want to let you know, you're coming on the show more often. You're just going to see even more crazy things that happen.
Oh, I
on the
bet.
show. There is. I want to. Now, I've done a lot of crazy things. On this show, I actually broke a record on live radio. I put, icy hot on my scrotum. Now, I had to do it. I had to do it because
You lose a
people.
bet?
I had to listen. No, it wasn't a bad.
Like you want her to come back.
I
on
do, but it's funny. It's
I
funny.
may have been like, you won't do it.
They
and
told
then he
me
had to
I
do
couldn't
it.
do it and I wouldn't do it. So you know what I did? I did it. You want to know something? It was the worst experience of my life. For 10 minutes, I did it. My face turned purple, and thank God I still own a pair of you-know-whats. But nevertheless, I broke a record. And now I want to do something that people have told me you actually can do. I want to take a lighter and try to fart and see if it'll light a flame. So that is something that I'm working on a betting
Very
motion.
highbrow.
Yes, I try to break records here. I want to see if this actually could work.
Could that be on your prop sheet one of these
Yes,
days?
that would be cool.
We have to set odds, yes or no.
Well,
right?
Yes
Well-
or no?
I don't want to scare anybody away when they see it. That's for sure.
No, please don't. I might have to go sign up for some other show.
I am a legend.
As we all know. Anyways, Ariel, you are fantastic. You do such a great job. And again, we really appreciate the time. I know we've kept you on pretty long, and I'm sure you're probably saying after you get off, man, those guys are nuts. But that's what we do.
Nuts is better than boring.
That's true. I would say that, some of these guys don't have any, but, maybe the chipmunks hanging out in the back room might know a little bit about that. Right, Speedy?
I don't know. I have any chipmunks. what am I? What am I? The Dave who runs Alvin, Simon, and Theodore? Where I have a bunch of those guys.
What the hell? Anyways, Ariel, keep up the good work. We'll definitely get you on again. We'd love
You
to,
got it.
hit the pattern when the playoff starts, because I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Do the Yankees make the playoffs? I would probably make a prediction no, but hey, maybe I'm wrong.
You can make some money off that.
Yeah, well, I'll make a lot of money off a lot of things I've said, but everybody has attacked me on social media while I'm saying it. So, unfortunately, that's what it goes with when it comes to this show. Errol says something, and now it's time to just absolutely drop the hammer on him, or beat the hell out of him, or say whatever you want to say about him. So, there you go. Anyways, Ariel, keep up the good work.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The wonderful Prop Queen Sports leader of them all, Ariel Epstein.